Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is August the 12th of 2020. Strong hand, long-term thinking, buying over crying. Personal responsibility is the new counterculture. Oh, your hands are strong. I know it. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. One day closer to an all-time high. Now more than ever, I'm offended by selling. I don't know how anyone can be selling right now. Hello, my elite friends. Check out yesterday's show. I was on fire. We've had some great shows since Friday. DisruptMeister.com. You can check them all out. Beyond Bitcoins on the backup channel, so subscribe there. But you can get them all at DisruptMeister.com. If you have questions, my elite friends, I have answers. Show your appreciation. Type in, I love questions. Type in BitcoinMeister. Do a super chat. Do it. It's awesome. It's fun. Get my attention. I'll answer it. Yesterday was a huge show. I had a blast. Please watch it again. Spread the word on Twitter. That's a great way to support the show. It's free. Part of the reason I'm so happy is because until MicroStrategy mentioned it a few weeks ago, I didn't think corporations would be doing this in 2020. And if you would have asked me a month ago, well, when are corporations going to start making their primary treasury reserve asset Bitcoin? I would not have. I would have said after 2021, probably. So it's sometimes you're surprised. I always say things take a little longer in Bitcoin than expected. This was a bit faster. Now it's only them right now, but no doubt the way he phrased everything, the CEO, it will pique the interest of many other CEOs out there. So yeah, part of the reason I'm so happy is I definitely did not think this would happen in 2020. Definitely. And that's why I started talking about it with the first mention of it a few weeks ago, that it was proposed, but that it happened is a shock to me. Definitely a shock. And you could tell by my reaction now, my reaction yesterday. So great. It's not 2023. This is happening. It's happening in 2020. Pound that like button. One day closer to an all-time high. One day closer to all sorts of madness and new ways of looking at finances that we can't even dream of at this moment. So, and that's exciting. I love life. I love the unexpected aspects and the technology, the innovation. I love it all. Now, yeah, so Bitcoin is my primary treasury reserve asset, says Alistair Milne. I agree. Bitcoin is my primary treasury reserve asset. That's very much the definition of valuing your wealth in Bitcoin. When I say value your wealth in Bitcoin, that's what I mean. Make a Bitcoin your primary treasury reserve asset. You save in Bitcoin, okay? It's a glorious newfangled savings account, and corporations are realizing it now. Now, the funny thing is, Michael Saylor, who is the CEO of MicroStrategy, I give him a lot of credit because in December of 2013, back in the day when I only had like 2 or 3 Bitcoin, I definitely, I got my first 2 in November. So by December, there were more. Back then, Michael Saylor said, Bitcoin days are numbered. It seems like just a matter of time before it suffers the same fate as online gambling. Oh my, dude. You were a no-coiner. You weren't talking nice about Bitcoin, were you there, current CEO of MicroStrategy? But I got to give you credit. At least you knew about it then. It was clear you were researching it back then. And were you stubborn? Were you stubborn and did you get stuck in your ways like Peter Schiff and refuse to change your mind? No, you did not. You clearly changed your mind since December of 2013. Of course, I mean, no regrets though, dude. No regrets. Had you bought Bitcoin back then, I mean, your company, who knows? It'd be worth a lot more now. But not to worry about that. You're doing it before these other corporations are doing it, Michael. Good job. Come sail away with me, Michael Saylor. Sticks. All right. Now, come sail away. Now, okay. So while this huge news is going on, and this is the great thing about Bitcoin. So someone mentioned that the amount of people out there that own 0.1 Bitcoin, okay? And it's a lot. And most of them don't know what the heck's going on Twitter. Unfortunately, probably most of them don't know what's going on with MicroStrategy either, but still they own it. That's cool. And one thing though on Twitter, people are still into this Ethereum supply gate thing, worrying about if Ethereum's supply can be, if someone can keep track of the supply of Ethereum. Dude, why do you care? Why care? Why care? And that's like a bigger news story to some of these people, usually much younger people who just like to argue, I guess, than the MicroStrategy thing. Dude, it's not going to make a difference in the world for me in the future, in the year 2026, with my Bitcoin savings account, if you can count the amount of Ethereum out there. What is going to make a difference is MicroStrategy buying up a bunch of the supply of Bitcoin. Now, Flyer67, a very cool dude, had a great line yesterday after watching my show. Adam is passion, not fashion. Pound that like button. And you know what? That really sums it up. No fancy sets or graphics. You're not going to get fashion here. You are going to get passion here, baby. And you're going to get a unique beast here. You're going to get Bitcoin insider information. And we're going to talk about the Bgold crypto dividend in a second. Something that I've been talking about for years has basically been settled now. And well, it just reminds you that you need to control your own private key. Roman Q says, do you measure your annual income in Bitcoin? I do, and my income, no, I do not. I don't at this time, actually, because I measured in dollars, because that's what I spend. So you say I do, and my income denominated in Bitcoin has been in free fall for years. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're gonna get it. You could have, people would have given you a lot more Bitcoin back in the day, when it's worth less in terms of fiat, of course. But no, I don't measure my annual income in Bitcoin. I do measure that in fiat still. I measure my savings in Bitcoin. I measure, of course, I value my wealth in Bitcoin, but my annual income, now, not at all. It's coming in dollars. It comes in dollars to me. YouTube pays me in dollars. So when the IRS says, how much did YouTube, I don't say how much. I don't tell the IRS, well, YouTube paid me this much in They didn't pay me in Bitcoin. They paid me in dollars. So I'm in that dollar mindset when it comes to my annual income, and that's for tax purposes, obviously. Now, support Gregor Kovacs, thank you, dude. He sent $4.99, and thank you, Roman Q, for the question. Gregor sent $4.99 in the super chat. Support for a fellow Bitcoiner. Keep spreading the word. Oh, dude, I'm going to keep spreading the word. Oh, man, it's conviction, baby. I've been since 2013, baby. All right, now let us go back to the program. Oh, look at this beautiful Ed Markey, the senator from Massachusetts. I mentioned him a week ago or so. I don't know. He's running against a Kennedy, and he is the senator, but he's got to get attention. So you got to take this with a grain of salt, sort of. But I mean, I'll read you what he said. Give every person in our country $2,000 a month for the duration of the pandemic, $2,000 a month for 3 months after that, and $2,000 a month retroactive to March. That's a lot of money, dollar printing right there. And that goes to show you why dudes like Michael Saylor changed their mind about valuing their wealth in dollars. If a sitting senator can propose something like that, that is a lot. That's more than Andrew Yang. I mean, that's we've gone from Andrew Yang being radical in November to a guy who's already in the Senate. There are only 100 of them proposing that. I mean, that's at least $10,000 for every American there. Yeah, that's over $10,000 for every American. Very, very nice. Again, value it's definitely, value your wealth in Bitcoin. Okay, so let's talk about real Bitcoin versus fake Bitcoin. No, I don't mean altcoins as fake Bitcoin. I mean these extreme. You got to own the underlying, okay? You got to own the real asset, which is Bitcoin, on your Trezor, okay? If you've got it on it's not real Bitcoin. for you, don't get into the mentality that you own real Bitcoin if you got it on Coinbase. But even worse than that are these exchange traded products in ETFs that are coming and GBTC, all of that stuff. We've got these normies that think they own Bitcoin when they buy into these things, all right? And that is definitely not Bitcoin. Definitely, because you can't even extract the Bitcoin from that, okay? Not that the people who buy that stuff would even want the real Bitcoin. Now, exchange traded product is what they have in Europe, okay? And 21 shares, which has been mentioned before. I'm still curious about it because I don't care if these dudes financialize Bitcoin, okay? It's free advertising for Bitcoin. It's going to get, it indirectly gets more money into the ecosystem, okay? It's fine with me, all right? But I'm just telling you, it's not real Bitcoin. But 21 shares, a Swiss-based product provider. They have an exchange traded product, ETP, that tracks the value of Bitcoin, which is not, it's not Bitcoin. And so I linked to their tweet below and their site below. You can research them, you Europeans, but don't buy them. Buy the real thing. You can get exposure to, and they're into Ethereum and Bitcoin they're into. You can get exposure to Ether through the 21 shares Ethereum ETP. Learn more about the product at the link below. I mean, people want easy, okay? They want easy. And this is easy. Oh, I just go through traditional means like I used to buy stocks and now I'll own Bitcoin, which isn't really Bitcoin. A skill is not easy. That is what Sunday's show was all about, okay? Teaching you 5 skills. Some of you think some of those skills are easy. They're not easy because the people who refuse to learn them end up owning ETPs, ending up owning GBTC. Personal responsibility is about learning skills. Third parties are about letting someone else with skill manage what you could manage had you learned that skill. Handing over your trust to them, third parties, and paying them a price, okay? So, I mean, it's unbelievable when people don't want to take the time to learn the skill of holding their own Bitcoin. They would rather just be like, yeah, I think I own Bitcoin. They know what they're doing. You're doing it for me. But that, I mean, that's the way of the world today. Most people don't take personal responsibilities. It's all about believing third parties, trusting third parties. It's a mistake. Now, and they even say it, crypto made easy. The simplest way to invest in the best performing asset class of the last decade using your existing bank or brokerage, 21shares.com. Dudes, no, you're right. That is easy. It is easy to do things the way you always did things, okay? But you're not going to own Bitcoin. Do things differently. Learn a skill. Buy your Bitcoin. Put it on your Trezor. That's it, all right? That's real Bitcoin. Pound that like button. So let's talk about Bgold. Oh, we remember back in November of 2017 when we all got our Bgold crypto dividend and we could easily claim it on our Trezor. But there were a lot of people back then, and still to this day, they kept their Bitcoin on Coinbase. So they were wondering, when is Coinbase going to give me my Bgold crypto dividend? What are they doing with my Bgold? Well, is it really your Bgold? Is it really your Bitcoin? Now, there was a guy, and I knew people were going to sue. I didn't know the lawsuit had progressed so much. There was a guy back then. He had 350 Bitcoin on Coinbase. In November of 27, the dude had to move this 350 Bitcoin onto a Trezor, okay? Onto anything other than that. And at that time, I mean, it was worth 350 Bitcoin. What was that worth? $2 million, $3 million? But he thought it was a good idea to keep it at Coinbase. Okay, dude. I mean, that's his prerogative. It was insane. But he sued Coinbase because they never gave him his 350 Bgold. And today, well, the appeals court backs Coinbase in Bgold fork breach of contract lawsuit. So the precedent has been set. All right. You keep your Bitcoin on some exchange. They don't have to sometimes they gave people Bcash, didn't they? But they don't have to do it. They don't have to give you a darn thing. If you think you really own real Bitcoin on an exchange, this shows you that you don't. If you own the real Bitcoin, you got it on your Trezor, you can get any crypto dividend that you want. And now some are more complex than others, airdrops. But guess what? If your Bitcoin is on there, Coinbase has every right, according to this legal precedent, to take your Bitcoin, sell your Bitcoin, take your crypto dividend and sell your crypto, do whatever they want to do with what you think is your crypto dividends. Maybe they were claiming MWC also. Maybe they can claim airdrops. They can claim the B diamond, the B gold. They made out like bandits on that stuff. If they don't have to sell that, if they don't have to give people their B gold, they were probably when B gold's price was going down, they were probably the entity that was selling it. I mean, who knows? They might have gotten a 2% return. Unbelievable money they might have made off of this because people thought, it's my Bitcoin. It's not your Bitcoin. Clearly it's not, because the crypto dividend, the interest that came from that Bitcoin, Coinbase is legally allowed to keep. All right. So what's real Bitcoin? What's real Bitcoin? And who owns what Bitcoin? Now, so in the future, dudes, this will remind you, if you want to collect your crypto dividends, and you think, it's going to be a big one, so Coinbase will make it really easy for me. No way. They can keep that. And so learn it, live it, set up your Trezor. You Coinbase people are never getting your Bgold. That's the conclusion. And there are still some people that thought they were going to get it. All right. And it's worth so little now anyway, compared to what it was worth at one point, in terms of dollars and in terms of Bitcoin. Of course, value your wealth in Bitcoin. Now, there are a lot of people here. Wasabi says, it is strange to hear you talk without 2x playback speed. I'm glad you said that, because people, if you're watching this tape, you should be playing this at 2x. If you're watching this live, obviously there's no way to play this at 2x, but this is a life hack. It has saved me so much time. I watch all videos at 2x, and sometimes it's a little hard, so I slow it down to 1.75. I can't listen to anyone. I mean, everybody sounds slow at regular speed now. So that is a tip. I'm glad. Someone says I sound drunk on regular speed. Well, of course I don't drink. I only drink water. Someone brought up yesterday, they thought I was so energetic because I drank coffee. I've never drank coffee in my entire life. Pound that like button. It's all natural, baby. I'm actually in the middle or toward the end of a 44-hour fast. I think I'm in hour 43 now or something, or 42. So yesterday when you saw me all energized, and right now I'm energized too. I can get amped like that now. I haven't eaten for 42 hours. That's natural, dude. That's not. So many people are used to, and this is what we talk about on the Beyond Bitcoin show. So many people are used to, you got to take this to get you high. You got to take these drugs. No drugs at all for me. It's all freaking natural. I only drink water, baby. Which reminds me, I forgot to drink my water before this show. All right, but I'll do that afterwards. All right, Rocky says the great Rocky Palumbo says in November of 2017. 300 BTG was worth $168,000, and today it's worth $3,717. Pound that like button, so you can see by that number why some of these dudes were very frustrated at Coinbase. Very, very, very frustrated at Coinbase. Unfortunate for them, they did not control their own private key. Now, and by the way, I met someone who for one day. One Bgold was worth 5% of a Bitcoin, and this dude, that's when he sold all his free Bgold. That was quite an accomplishment. All right, now he's a real totally trust this dude, not a fake story. Aren't we supposed to be against banks? People like to say. Well, who's we? Aren't we supposed to destroy them? Who's we? Okay, there's no we here. But secondly, I say banks. Let them exist. Ignore the banks. What's the big deal? I mean, I'm not into destruction of banks. I'm not just let them compete. Bitcoin is my savings account. I don't need a savings account in a bank. If banks are going to have Bitcoin savings accounts, that's great. Great. Let them do it. I take personal responsibility. I am my own bank. The banks are free to invest in Bitcoin and to make Bitcoin banks. And it will only help my personal bank account if they do so. So there's so many people, when they hear me talk about banks, or they hear me talk about corporations, they immediately default to this envy and hate of corporations and banks. Why have that? Why have that blind envy and hate? This is not a zero-sum game. We can all win. Wells Fargo can do well off of Bitcoin. if they manage their cards right. Okay, who cares? Worry about yourself. Are you managing your Bitcoin right? I mean, if people still want to get mortgages from Wells Fargo in dollars, okay, that's their personal business. Okay, you know better not to do that. If Wells Fargo and Bank of America and Citi are still going to make millions of dollars off of traditional banking and get into cryptocurrency at the same time, so who cares if people want to deal with them on that level? All right, you deal with your own personal bank, which is your Trezor, your Ledger, your whatever, digital Bitbox. I don't care where you store it. Okay, so yesterday's show, I also mentioned Andreas Antonopoulos talking about how the old bank rails which are the old finance rails, are becoming obsolete, and soon everybody's going to be moving to Bitcoin to do transactions. Banks will probably they won't have settlements in 3 days. They'll have settlements in 10 minutes because of Bitcoin. And it's just things change. They can adopt the Bitcoin rails. I have no problem. Just like the phone companies, they used to the internet used to be on the phone, used to use the traditional phone rails, and now the phone companies use the internet rails. It's more efficient. It's I forgot how Andreas phrased it. Watch yesterday's show, watch yesterday's show to get the link and to watch his show, which was good. Now, I just think the corporate hate is silly, and corporations will do great things for the Bitcoin economy. They will. So compete, don't complain. Evil banks can be here. We can't. Evil banks can be here, and quote unquote, for the people that are watching this and listening on sportsmeister.com. As long as you're your own bank, why does it matter? I mean, is it envy? I mean, I don't care how rich the Winklevi get off of this. I'm worried about myself here. All right. So that's the great thing about Bitcoin. No one can be banned. So if you don't like banks and you're sad, you're crying over buying, they're going to be buying when you can cry about them. So no one can be banned from here. The worst enemy can be buying Bitcoin, and it helps you. So let's go back to yesterday's happiness over MicroStrategy. The great Holdenot says 9,900 Bitcoin new supply minted daily. This needs to cover all new demand from every corporation, institution, nation state, millionaire, and individual on the planet. MicroStrategy just ate 22 days of new supply. Do the math. $11.5 thousand is not the right price. Okay, $11.5 thousand, that last line, it's not the right price for the future, clearly, okay? But I like his way of looking at it here, that they just ate up 22 days of new supply. So imagine that being done over and over again. Each corporation that values their wealth in Bitcoin, doing that over and over again. You'll see a difference in the Bitcoin price if the new supply is getting gobbled up that fast. And remember, plays at 2x, 1,700 of my Bitcoin videos at disruptmeister.com. Check out every link below. I don't include that for the heck of it. You need to do your research. You can't be a servant of the algorithm. So yeah, I love when people ask me questions. No questions are stupid questions. Just make sure you use proper English and grammar so I can understand it. A lot of people are in a rush when they do it. But it gives me motivation, definitely. And by the way, a bullish sign is more people are contacting me at adam@trezorhelp.com to set up consultations. So I'm doing one later today, actually. So if you want a crypto consultation, you want to speak with me one-on-one, adam@trezorhelp.com. We can set up something there. And need help setting up your Trezor? That's where the name came from, trezorhelp.com. All right. So we're one day closer to central banks holding Bitcoin after what happened yesterday. That people still think this is impossible. I mean, how can they think it's impossible that central banks aren't going to hold Bitcoin when you got a big company doing it? Private industry, it always leads the way too. Private industry is smarter than the public sector. The bureaucrats should learn from this move, but because they are slow and mostly useless, they will be beaten to the punch by many private companies. And but I will say this: one day we are going to find out. Just like we got that shock to the system yesterday that a private company had finally done it, we're going to get that. We're one day closer to hearing about a central bank doing it. And again, this is the biggest news of the year so far, so I can't stop talking about it. And yesterday I was offended by selling more than ever. How can you not be buying with news like this? Okay, when 0.1% of all the Bitcoin was bought up by some corporation that's valuing their wealth in Bitcoin now. If there was ever a time not to believe the Bitcoin is not real money FUD, and that it can only be real money when you can buy coffee with it, it was yesterday. Okay. They clearly they think it's money. They think it has value. They don't need to be able to buy coffee with it to make it a something that they preserve their wealth in. This big Microstrategy, and I'm going to repeat what I said yesterday. This Alistair Milne tweet. Microstrategy, $1 billion company, has accumulated 21,454 Bitcoin and refers to it as its primary treasury reserve asset. Let that sink in. Seriously, let that sink in. If you're still doing that FUD, oh, you can't buy anything with it. It's not real money. It has no value until it's all in the ether, until you can buy coffee with it. Dude, you just way behind you. I mean, that was action right there. Okay. That was buying instead of crying. You're crying about coffee and a big corporation is buying. All right. Reminder, September 29th and November 24th, I will be in Salt Lake City. So right now I'm in Asheville until Rosh Hashanah, and I'll be in Baltimore for the high holidays, and then Salt Lake City, September 29th to November 24th. So people have asked where I'm going next. There's your answer. And finally, let's talk about this Ethereum thing real quick. Someone just bought $15 million worth of Ethereum via Uniswap. 40,000 Ethereum were purchased the other day on Uniswap, and with Tether. So why did this happen? What's going on? Someone is valuing their wealth in Ethereum? Are they laundering money? Because Uniswap is a decentralized exchange, and you can't, with Uniswap, maybe they felt more comfortable using a decentralized exchange, because there are decentralized exchanges. You can do the same thing with Bitcoin, but maybe there's not the trading volume on those exchanges. So they needed to launder, or maybe this person actually is that bullish on Ethereum. I don't know. I thought it was an interesting development. I didn't hear many people talk about it. It boosted up the price of Ethereum way higher on Uniswap for a short period of time. Someone was trying to do something. 40,000 Ethereum, okay, which is, again, what was it? $15 million worth of it. That's quite a bit. So it's no joke either. And it was Tether to Ethereum. So I don't know how the dude got all that Tether. I mean, he had big cojones to send over I would send over $15 million worth of anything to some Uniswap, okay? But and maybe that's why it was they've gotten it through nefarious purposes and quote unquote need to launder it and all that stuff. Very interesting. And again, Parler. Let's make crypto Parler a thing. I'm BitcoinMeister on there. I've been parlaying every day over there. And of course, I am also on BitChute and other alternative platforms. They're all listed below. All right, that's it. I'm Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, the Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video, pound that like button, share it on Twitter, dude. Retweet me. I'm TechBalt, TechBalt. Have a great day. I will say hi to all you dudes in the chat now. Bye. Thanks.